Grand final action again this week on EFL TV, Divisions 2 and 4 having the last day of the year. We'll talk to Lauren Wood, the EFL's media manager, and Sean Kelly as well as we focus on the footy. Let's talk some footy news. First off on EFL TV with the media manager of the Eastern Footy League, Lauren Wood. Welcome back, Loz.
Great to be back, Half.
Another eventful weekend in the world of the EFL.
It certainly has been, and as we all know, your boys have been at the centre of that.
I'm sick of that, by the way.
How's everything travelling?
We are in a state of flux at the moment. Sean is still in an induced coma, so we don't know much until he gets out of that, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest with you. You'd prefer to know what's happening, but obviously an unfortunate incident on the weekend, and Sean's in a pretty ordinary state at the minute, but we'll wait and see how we go. There's plenty of people around giving thoughts and prayers to Sean and his family and making sure that they get through this tough situation as well. So it's been a really difficult time. I think the players have been really affected by it. I know I have over the last couple of weeks, and everyone involved at the Ball and Footy Club certainly been affected dramatically by this event, and even the people that were watching near the sidelines where the event was. A lot of those people give me feedback that they've never seen anything like it, and the way it made them feel was just horrible. So, just horrible. Just a horrible thing at the moment. We just hope and pray that the big fella pulls through very, very shortly.
That's it. He's certainly in all of our thoughts, and as you say, it is a really tough situation. So, we are all thinking of Ball and Footy Club, yourself, your players, and of course Sean and his family and friends. So, let's all keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, we have had some great support from the EFL community, and on behalf of the Footy Club, we'd like to thank everyone out there for that. So keep them coming, keep the wishes coming for Sean, and we'll hopefully get him back on his feet very, very soon. Now, Doncaster, speaking of good things on the weekend, Doncaster snared the premiership in Division 3, defeating North Ringwood in a canter, really.
Well, it really was. It took us all by surprise a little bit down there at Walker Park. I was expecting a cracker, to be honest, but I mean 55 points deficit at half time, and they never really looked back from there. So an absolute screamer of a mark from Michael Batista in the third quarter as well.
Saw the photo. That's
they certainly did a great job on the weekend, and they'll be straight up to Div 2 next year.
Great effort by Adam Bester, leading the Doncaster boys there over his former teammate from the Mighty Ball and Tigers. Brett Moyle is a bit flat this week, understandably. Now, two more grand finals this week, Div 2 and Div 4, and both of those you'll hear live on Radio Eastern 98.1.
You certainly will. We're heading out to East Burwood on Saturday for Div 2, Lilydale and Montrose. So we'll go to air at 1 o'clock, both through the EFL website and 98.1. We'll also have live video streaming through the website. Good. So if you want to tie in the commentary from the boys with a bit of vision, you'll certainly be able to do that. And also, same case on Sunday, but from 2 o'clock. So that'll be Div 4, which is Glen Waverley Hawks and Heathmont from Tormore Reserve in Boronia. The
pinnacle of the reason you play on Sunday and Saturday for both those teams in Div 4 and Div 2 respectively. Good luck to all the teams. We'll talk about that with Sean Kelly a little bit later on. Now the Huddle, what's happening next week on the Huddle?
It is massive finale of the Huddle. The boys are really excited. So it's going to be a 2-hour edition, and we're doing it live from EFL House. So get down there, 256 Scoresby Road in Boronia, next to the Genesis Gym. From 6 till 8, we'll be out in the car park. We'll have plenty of prizes and giveaways and barbecue going, handball competitions, all that sort of thing. And you'll also be able to catch, I know you love your burgers, Half, so the grand final
just
of
6 or 7.
The Barbecues Are Us Mitcham Hamburger Hunt. So
wow.
I reckon there'll be a few for you to trial down there as 4 teams from across the divisions go head-to-head in what some would say, well, I guess rivals a grand final.
Well, it's more important than a grand final, let's be honest, Laura, in the hamburger hunt. Good luck to all those teams in the hamburger hunt final too. Okay, speaking of winners, last week's competition winner for the grand final passes?
It is. We had a great entry from Sean Ellis. He told us all about his favourite things about finals footy. He's played in them, and now he's watching them as a spectator, and then he gave a great account of that. So he's won himself a pass to get to this weekend's grand finals and next week's Division 1 grand final, the big one. So make sure you grab the code word that you're going to give
the code word's
later.
Back. Yes, okay.
And you can win yourself an entry to the big one, Division 1 grand final day at Bayswater Oval. We're going to have plenty of the 9 News crew down there, heaps of giveaways and all that sort of thing. So it'll be a great day, even the helicopter landing in the middle of the oval again. So
wow.
Certainly a great one, so make sure you get the code word and send it in.
We'll do that a little bit later on. Anything else before you go?
I think that'll do us. Get into the footy.
Let's have a great week on the EFL landscape, and we'll see you soon.
See you next week.
Lauren Wood, the media manager even of the EFL. Righto, 3 big games to talk about now. 2 of those grand finals, and one of those, the Division 1 preliminary final with Sean Kelly, the number 1 man from EFL Radio. G'day, Shawnee.
G'day, Half. How are you today, mate?
Not too bad, pal. Not too bad. Loving the red shirt. It's working for your treat.
It does. It's just I thought I'd get a nice colour out there rather than the white that's a bit bland over the last couple of weeks.
No, colour's king, especially in spring. So
Yes.
remember that out there in EFL land. Don't know how I got that to rhyme, but somehow I did. Let's look at the Div 1 preliminary final. Scoresby taking on Blackburn at Bayswater on Saturday afternoon. These two teams met, same ground, same place, same time, 2 weeks ago.
They did indeed. I was there watching it. I believe I saw you under an inconspicuous pair of big sunnies watching it as well.
Big nose too.
Big day it was for Scoresby. The one thing that Blackburn couldn't get over on that day was the ruck division. Luke Van Reenen was dominant. They threw Chris McCubbin and Marlon Simbolan at him, couldn't get anywhere near it. Simbolan improved last week in the first semi against Baldwin, but he's going to have a big game to get over Van Reenen, who, if I were Dale Bauer, I know we've spoken about it a fair bit, I'd drop him forward to rest him this week rather than rest him on the bench. Blackburn's backline's going to be a little bit underdone. We know there's no Sam McCauley. Troy Takkinen's been struggling at reserve level. And Cruttenden's done the collarbone on the weekend. And, of course, we know Jeff Ryan's not going to be there. So that takes 4 key defenders out of that lineup. You drop Van Reenen down there. You've already got Hogle, Pym, McDonald to contend with, as well as Kirby McConnon. Big ask.
Have they got any depth in the reserves? Obviously, all 3 teams from Blackburn was in the finals on Sunday. So have they got anyone from the twos that come up and play those roles in defence?
Looking at the twos, they have got some sizable lads there. Troy Takkinen's been playing in the reserves the last couple of weeks, but he didn't look fit last week. He looked like he was a bit short of a gallop. Ruben Mead's also another tall lad down there that they could use, that they could throw back, but they really need something. Of course, we know how dominant Scoresby's forward line can be. In that qualifying final, Stephen Pym only kicked 2 goals, but it was 2 goals 7, so if he gets on top of them, it could be a long afternoon for Blackburn.
Who's going to win?
Scoresby.
Scoresby to win and take on Noble Park in a replay of last year's grand final next Saturday at Bayswater, says Sean Kelly. Let's go to Div 2, the grand final. Looking forward to this. Lilydale taking on Montrose. Montrose coming from 4th to take on the best team in Div 2 all year. How do you see this unfolding?
They have, and really Montrose have gone in as underdogs in every finals game so far. At half-time 2 weeks ago in the first semi-final, they looked gone. They looked dead in the water. They turned it around after half-time. They turned an 18-point half-time deficit into a 36-point win. They held off Roval kicking against the wind in the final quarter last week, and we know how strong the wind was. It was a 3 to 4 goal breeze last Saturday, so they did a fantastic job there. And what's to say they can't do it again this week? Their backline's really starting to hit their straps. Matty Langdon's been probably the best player of the final series so far. Jai Goodman, Matty Wright, all doing a good job down there. They'll need to. We know how strong Lilydale's forward line is. Nathan O'Keefe, Daniel Breeze. They'll drop their resting ruckman back down there, either Benny Power or Andrew Borden, and as well as the little guys they've got going through there. Montrose are going to have to, I reckon, be at the top of their game to get up this week.
What about the midfield battle? Lilydale have been terrific in that regard all year.
They have indeed. This is going to be another great battle. Marcus Hoddies, who of course came back after round 1, slipped into the midfield beautifully. Ryan Breeze came back also into the side earlier in the year after what was apparently a career-ending injury. He came back in and hasn't missed a beat. They are flying. Having said that, Fraser Pope is on fire for Montrose at the moment. Dean Stephen is on fire. They've got a couple of really good taggers. Seb Colakides, the Foss, will do a tagging job on somebody. So will Sam Goodman. There's about 82 years in between those two players. So they've got either end of the tagging spectrum covered, but it's going to be a really good midfield battle as well.
Righto, all the people out there are just waiting for this from you. Who wins?
I'm tipping Lilydale. My finals tipping's been in the toilet since I had such a good home and away tipping season. But I'm tipping Lilydale just on the fact that they deserve it. They've only lost 1 game for the season. They'll start as red-hot favourites, but I'm not writing Montrose off at all.
Stop sitting on the fence. Write someone off, would you? You're
Last
tipping
time I
Lilydale.
did that, every time I do it, it tends to be Baldwin, and President Richard Wilson comes and gives me the biggest slap of all time.
He'll leave you alone this week, I promise. Righto, so a win for Lilydale in Div 2, according to Sean. Let's go to Div 4. The Glen Waverley Hawks take on Heathmont. Tormore Reserve on Sunday, this game. First ever grand final, I believe, for Glen Waverley Hawks.
It is indeed. Of course, the Glen Waverley Hawks started as a senior club in 2005. The second semi-final a couple of weeks ago was up until that day the highest they'd ever finished on a ladder. They've now won that. They're in Division 3. They're in a grand final. And I'll tell you what, they've obviously got the tools to go a long, long way in this game as well. Their forward line is huge. You've got Matty Carnelli, who kicked over 100 goals. Simon Grasser, who looks like twins with one head, and Robbie Davies is down there as well, and he can kick goals as well. So they've got that. They've got the midfield. I wonder if they've got the back line. Heathmont's Darren Sheen's kicked 27 goals in the final so far in 3 games. Mick Aitken's due to come back into the side. He's had a problem with his feet that's a recurring problem throughout the season so far. They reckon he'll be right for the weekend. Leota to Matt. He's booked in the midweek solarium visit. I spoke to him on Monday morning about it. So between him and Andrew as a party from the Hawks, there's going to be some serious manscaping going on Tormore Reserve on Saturday. They'll probably play on each other at some stage too, so you'll be able to compare suntans, boys. But getting back serious for a minute, it's an interesting game to look at. Heathmont have still got 12 premiership players from their 2008 Division 4 premiership on the ground on the weekend. They know how to win grand finals. They've got another couple of players that have played in earlier flags. Their captain, Steve Shaw, Luke McDermott, who played in the Mooroolbark flag a couple of years ago as well. They know how to win grand finals. Do the Glen Waverley Hawks. They've got some players that have played in reserves premierships. I think Matt Carnelli played in the senior flag in 2004 at Roval. A couple of unders premierships. I know Ryan Lepore and Simon Grasser played in Colts flags at Knox as well. Does that make up for the substitution of having the experience in the real thing?
Does it?
We'll find out. 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon at Tormore Reserve in Baronia.
Who are you going to tip?
Yeah. I've been told I write Heathmont off too much by people within Heathmont.
Tell me what you think, not what other people are telling you.
But
what do you
think the Glen Waverley Hawks are going to win. They've, again, like Lilydale, they've been the best side for the season. They've been dominant. It's their time, I reckon. All the thoughts of the 50-game losing streaks from a few years ago, they'll be over come Sunday afternoon.
So just one more final time. Who'd you tip?
Glen Waverley Hawks.
Glen Waverley Hawks, Lilydale and Scoresby are the winners according to Sean Kelly. Now you can catch both those grand finals, Divi 2 and Divi 4, on 98.1 Radio Eastern on the weekend as well. Tune in for the best call in town of those games.
Certainly
Probably the only one, but the best without a doubt as well. Good luck, Sean. Good calling.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Remember, the code word too this week is going to be premiers. So send that through to competitions at efl.org.au by close of business. No, not close of business. Midnight will make it Tuesday night, and you can win a ticket to pass to the EFL Division 1 Grand Final next Saturday at Bayswater. Have a safe weekend out there, and we'll see you next week.